How to move people forward, all right? And again, I'm only going to share things with you that I have personally done in the business. I don't believe in painting a picture of, oh, you could do this, but I've never done it. You know, like, oh, you can go out and make $1 million your first year. Well, I don't believe that because I haven't done it, and I don't know. It may have happened once by somebody, but is it real? Probably not. So, so number one is, do you believe in the machines? To be successful in this business, you have to first find out how good these machines are. The Chi machine, the hot house, the e-power, the ERE, the soaky bed, the consumable products, the greens, the enzymes, the beta low. And once you get a belief, then you can transfer that belief. That's really all our business is about, is transferring a belief of what we've got to someone else. The second thing is, how many machines do you own? Now here's a perfect example. I bring in distributors that buy one Chi machine. That's all they buy. Guess what? That's all they sell. I got distributors that come in with a Chi machine and a hot house. Guess what they sell? The combo. Chi machines and hot house. Then I get people that come in with the soaky bed. Guess what they sell? The soaky beds. So if you only have one machine, that's all you're going to sell, unless you get somebody to watch my DVD and then you get them to talk to me. I'll probably sell them more machines for you, but you know what? People always look at what do you own. So it was a perfect example. When I first got in the business the first month, we sold 64 Chi machines. That's all I owned. The second month I bought a hot house. We sold the equivalent of 120 Chi machines the second month. There was a combination of Chis and hot houses because I bought one. And then as the next machines came about, I bought those, and then we started selling 3s, and then 4s, and then the beds. In fact, when the bed first came out, I did not sell the bed. You want to know why? Because I had developed my own version of the bed. The company came and took a look at my version of it. I basically I was a massage therapist, so I took a massage table. I had somebody build an extender on the edge of the massage table. Then I had them build a bracket so we could put the hot house in and tip them back. And so I had my bed, and then I started selling the beds, actually, the massage tables, with, I told people they got to order 3 hot houses and a Chi machine. So I was selling this package, but I was manufacturing the bed myself. We called it a sound table. We had sound vibration going through there and everything. We sold like 35, and the company was like, what are you doing over there? I says, come on over, I'll show you. So they took a look at it all, and basically then the company developed the soaky bed. So for the first year, they wanted me to buy their soaky bed. I says, I've already got mine, you copied it. You know, but it wasn't the same. It was different. You know, theirs was different. It was the control panel controlled all the machines versus mine. You had to set each one. And so finally, after about 1.5 years, I had sold a few soaky beds in that time. Their soaky beds, because I quit selling mine. And then I bought their beds. So then I had my bed on one side of the room, and I had their bed on the other side of the room. So when people came to my office, I started putting them on the company bed. Guess what? I started selling a couple soaky beds a month because I was demonstrating the company's bed, not mine. So my sales went up in soaky beds because, again, I was using their bed, not my version. So I ask you, how many machines do you own? Because that's exactly what you're going to promote and sell. And how often do you use the equipment? I try to use it almost daily, and I've been pretty good at that for 16 years. I mean, if I travel, I don't always get it, you know, and once in a while I'll miss it home, but rarely. So, I mean, people ask me, you know, how often do you use it? Well, first thing in the morning, I drink my cleansing drink and I go in my soaky bed. That's what I do. And I spend maybe 10 to 15 minutes, and I'm good for the rest of the day. Because, again, we talked yesterday about how often do you use the equipment or how much time to use it. Well, you can work your way up, get your problem solved, and work your way down. I look at, if I can spend 15 minutes and get everything I need, great. Because I don't want to have to spend an hour a day in there if I don't need to. You know? But as you're getting rid of your health problems, you may need to spend a lot more time using the machines until you get them under control, and then it's a maintenance level. It's like flying a plane. You know, it takes a lot of energy to get up there, just like the machines. It may take multiple hours. We talked yesterday about the 65-hour program to help reduce and eliminate lots of diseases. Well, that's 65 hours in that bed. Well, the most I've ever been in there is like 8. because I've never had a rare disease, and I don't intend to ever get one. So 8 hours for me one time, I had some really, I don't know, I messed myself up. I think I'm going to sleep in that thing all night long. So that's what I did. And every hour I kept waking up and resetting it. So again, ask yourself these questions and then apply them if you want to be successful. So all of you here are here because you want to learn how to do the business. So the first question that you have to ask yourself is, why do you really want to do this business? If you have a big enough why, you won't quit when you get a couple of no's. The only difference between me and you is that I got a lot more no's under my belt than you'll ever have. I mean, you're going to get no's. You know, it's part of the game. They're not saying no to you. They're not putting you down. Maybe they just don't K-N-O-W enough yet. They don't know enough. Or maybe you didn't approach them properly. I mean, if you called somebody up and want to talk to them about a Chi machine, and they're in the middle of changing their little kid's diaper, boy, that's a bad time, folks. You know, I mean, you just never know. So they might be saying no to you, but you're taking it personally when they're busy changing diapers, or they're about to leave on vacation, or maybe they just had a tragedy in the family. I mean, all kinds of weird things can happen. So I ask a lot of questions when I work in this business to make sure that the timing's right, or that they're open for what I have to offer. Because I don't want to work with people that aren't open to what I have to offer, and I'll teach you how we sort through people. So why are you going to really do this business? Do you want to pay off bills? Do you want to get a new car? Do you want to take a lot more family vacations? Do you want to quit your job? Do you want to retire? Do you want to be self-employed? I got in because of two main reasons. I had already gotten the health field, and I was already helping people with different things in the health field, and I love doing that. I love seeing results. And when the Chi machine and hot house came along, I got what I'd call instantaneous gratification. And I'll give you an example. The top guy in this company at the time was Peter Armstrong. And he basically started this entire company in the United States. And his wife was not into health, but he was. So she wouldn't use the Chi machine. One day, he comes home, she's laying on the Chi machine. And this gal, he tells me that she smokes cigarettes, she drinks pop, and she eats whatever she wants, and she doesn't care about health at all. He looks at it and goes, honey, why are you using that Chi machine? You don't care about your health. You smoke cigarettes, you know. And she says, because all I got to do is lay here, and when it stops, I feel good. Instantaneous gratification. That's what the Chi machine is. I mean, as you get things opened up, it's like when you first start using it, there's this rush that goes through your body. You're laying there going, it's almost euphoric to some people. Now, I've had a few women tell me, very few, that it was better than sex. Now, I've been told they probably had the wrong part. I can't agree with that statement, but anyway, it's good. You know, it can be that good for some people. I've also been told, what you never shared yesterday, is that a lot of men that take Viagra are actually able to get off of Viagra if they start using the Chi machine. Remember, circulation, folks. Circulation. Also, many people that haven't been able to get pregnant start using the Chi machine. They're able to get pregnant. Think of it as balancing the body. Okay? So again, I really enjoyed helping others improve their health, and if you have a strong enough why, you'll never ever quit when things get tough. So goals. How many of you have written goals every year? Any of you 2, 3, 4, 5, 6? Okay. Now, I learned the practice of written goals from Zig Ziglar. Maybe he's a motivational speaker in the U.S. And he taught me to write goals. So this is back in, I think it was, let me look here. I started writing goals back in 1987. And I'm going to share the power of written goals. It can't be up here. You have to write them down. There's a reason for that. So back in December 25, 1987, me and my wife lived in a really old, beat-up house that was in a bad neighborhood. And I realized after we bought it that I was not going to raise children in that environment because it was, I mean, we would hear bangs at night, and it wasn't firecrackers, it was like people shooting each other because there was drug dealers on both sides of us, you know, like a couple doors down, and cops around, and it was a bad neighborhood. So it was our starter house, which was, you know, my choice, but anyway, it was a dumb choice. So we make mistakes, we learn from. So I had a goal to get out of that neighborhood. We wanted to have children, and I didn't want them raised, I didn't want them going to that school district. I didn't even feel safe there myself. So I wrote down a goal, and here was the goal. December 25th, 1987, I dated it. We will have a new house by August of 1992 or before. It will be in a very nice neighborhood or safe neighborhood. It will have a large lot, 3 or more bedrooms, 1 to 2 car garage, and then I put would like 10 to 100 acres. Okay? So I put would like. So then I wrote this goal down, and I stuck it somewhere. And I don't remember where I stuck it. Until November 23rd of 1990, I found this goal because I was cleaning out my sock drawer because we were about to move. And we moved into our brand new house like 4 or 5 days later, and this was in a good neighborhood. It was a large lot. It had 4 bedrooms, and it was over a 2-car garage. The only thing I didn't get was the 10 to 100 acres because I didn't say I would have it, I said would like. So that's why I'm going to teach you a little about goal setting here, because when you start to set goals, you have to you have to put it in the text that you have it already. You own it. This is yours, and it's by or before. I put by or before a certain date because I didn't want to limit myself to have to wait to that date. So I actually got it, because I said we'd have it by August of 92, and November of 1990 is when we were moving. So see, I beat my goal by about 1.5 years because I put by or before. Okay? So when I set goals now, I say, I will earn this much money or more. So I don't limit myself, because you never want to. So that way when I reach that, I'm doing great, but if I get beyond that, I'm doing even better. Okay, so what would you like to have, to be, or become? So you got to write these down. So I actually included in your packet a little goal sheet. If you go towards the back, you'll see a sheet where you can write your goals. And it's like 2 more pages. Go 3 pages farther, and it says goals. Just like this. It's a goal page. And so I want you to write down your goals in the simple form of being specific, positive statements in the present tense, so that you can create them. You can write this down right now. Now here's the thing. This is how powerful goals are. If you write down your goals, and your goal is to accomplish this goal in the next 12 months, okay? Or less, or before. If you write down, say, 10 goals right now, there's good news and bad news. In 12 months from now, if you forget them in your sock drawer like I did, and then you pull them out in 12 months, you'll be both happy and sad. You'll be happy because you'll realize you've probably accomplished about 70% of these goals. You'll be sad that you didn't set bigger and better goals. Okay? Now, if you don't write them down in 12 months, things probably won't change in your life. It's the secret to writing them down on paper that its magic starts to occur. They did a survey, and they took a group of college students that were taught to write goals down. And I think there was like 100 of them. And then 10 years later, they went and interviewed these 100 students that were taught to write down their goals. And now I don't remember the exact numbers, but I'm going to generalize here because it was so powerful that out of those 100 students, 10 of them, I believe, 10 of them had done like sort of, yeah, 10 of them had written down goals. Well, when they found out what these 10 people were worth, those 10 people that wrote down their goals were worth more than the other 90% combined. Because they had written specific goals. That's the power of writing down goals. So ever since I wrote down that first goal, I've been writing down my goals every year. And I write down personal goals, I write down business goals, and I write down spiritual goals, whatever you want. It can be, but I kind of break them apart. So I'll put my business ones here, my family ones here, and I've got a lot of really kind of goofy goals, like I'm going to read so many books. You know, that's not a goofy one, but I know that leaders read. Okay, so I'd like you to take a moment right now and at least write down one goal for yourself, one or two goals right now. And like I said, it can be business related, it can be spiritual related, it can be family related, it can be, you know, I want a new car. If you want to do a business goal, we would suggest that you do something like in here, if it's a business goal, where like I put this stuff. This was actually one of my goals was I'm driving a brand new black SUV with 4-wheel drive and plenty of room for the kids and luggage. Well, that's what that was my first car that I got from HT, totally free. So not only did I get my goal, I didn't even have to pay for it because I worked the HT business. That was my one of my first goals for HT. And then another one was, that was mine. I want to earn $9,000 per month for my wonderful HT business. Well, guess what? By my 6th month, I was at that level, and I started growing from there. So that's the power of writing down goals. So take a moment right now and write down something, anything. I don't care. And then stick it in your sock drawer. In 12 months, mark the calendar and see what you get. And again, try to keep it positive in the present tense. Now, people that don't write down goals are like a ship without a rudder. You can send a ship out to sea, and if it doesn't have a guiding way to get to the next port, it's just going to keep on floating around. And that's unfortunate. That's the way most people live their life. In fact, people that have depression usually don't have goals. I've even watched myself a little bit. If I wasn't paying attention to my goals, or like I'm just like, oh, because there was a year in there that I didn't write down goals, and I'm just kind of floating along. You know, I didn't accomplish a lot that year. That I did. So I take that back. There's one year that I didn't write down goals, and I just kind of, I guess it's nice to float along at a comfortable level than it's to float along at a low level. You know what I'm saying? So when I got in HTE, my goal was to become a president, like I said, in 3 months. That's all I thought about. It was like I couldn't think of anything else. I was driving my car down the highway, listening to this cassette tape about the machines, and all of a sudden I realized I had passed my turn 10 minutes ago. This is the highway I drive every day. You know, it's like I was so focused on what I was listening to. I mean, I didn't drive off the road, but I wasn't thinking anything else but chi machines, hot hoses, helping people. So I was kind of like what you call in the zone. You know, they call it the zone. So, all right. So be specific and say on or before. I will have, be, do. So like if you're a brand new person, I will be a supervisor in the next 30 days with HT, or sooner. Or if you want to become a manager, I'll be a manager by a specific date. Or, you know, think big. I will be a president. I was listening to a gal I get so much good stuff through emails. Her name is Sonia Riccati, I think, or Riccoti, and she gave a free 1-hour presentation. I think I emailed that to you, didn't I? And did you happen to listen to that by any chance?
A little bit.
Yeah, and she was so good, and she said, write down your goals. So I wrote down a goal, and she says, now make it so you stretch yourself a little bit. So I wrote down the goal to stretch. This was just like 3 weeks ago, to stretch myself a little bit, and I wrote down this goal, and it's definitely a nice sizable goal. And then at the end she says, now times that goal times 10. I'm going, that's over 3 million a year. It's like, woo! So anyway, I mean, I don't know how that's going to occur, but I believe it will. because I took her class. I bought her class, and I'm going through her class, and I'm always trying to think bigger and better. And then Hal comes along and he says, well, we can put all this information on the internet, and we can blast out there to 1 million people. And it's like, oh, this could be part of the accomplishment of the 3 million a year. Who knows? Things just start to show up in your life when you get excited and passionate, and you will attract the people, the circumstances, or the information that you need when you start putting out there what you want. It just starts to show up. The old saying is, the teacher will appear when the student is ready. And it works. It's almost like magic. Boom, somebody shows up and it's like, well, where did they come from? Or somebody calls you up, yeah, I want to buy a Sulky bit today. I mean, it's like, oh, they were going to buy one 6 months ago and I thought they died. I mean, it is like that. I get calls now like every month where somebody that was going to buy one months or years ago calls up and says, yeah, I'm ready to buy that machine now. I'm ready to buy that bed now. So, the other thing you need in this business is a memory jogger. I was told this when I got in the first business years ago, and then I was told this, so I knew that. So when I got an HT, the memory jogger is a list of people that you're going to contact to talk to or show the equipment to, or to show the opportunity to. Now, I usually lead with the product, okay? I don't usually lead with the opportunity because I think too many people got too many opportunities out there, and they're all over the place, and all they're thinking about is money, money, money. I lead with the product because, again, I like to show people I can solve their problems. Then the business comes a lot easier and naturally. Because once you're excited about the results and the product, then it's easy to promote the business afterwards. But there's been so many things where people go to these meetings, and I'm not going to use any specific name, but there's a lot of multi-level marketing companies where they get you in there, they pump you all up. You can make $1 million your first year, rah, rah. They're jumping up and down their chairs, and they're all excited, and they go home and they deflate. Yeah. Because they probably either, one, don't believe in their product, number two, they haven't been given good directions on how to even do that, and they don't have good support, and it's all about money, money, money. Well, no, 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 no. Life isn't about money, money, money. Again, life is about serving, serving, serving. The money just comes right afterwards. Like you guys have a successful golf course here because you've got beautiful grounds. You probably take care of your customers. You got everything's immaculate, and you take care of the people that come here, and they want to come back. They like the atmosphere. People walk into my office, my home, and right away they go, wow, this feels nice. And for some, and I guess I designed it by accident, you know what I mean? But nothing's an accident. So they come in and you feel the energy and the calmness. I probably should get a little waterfalls too, because I don't have, my wife just leaves me alone in my office. So she says, I got to come up here and straighten things out once in a while. I says, come on up, do it, clean me up. All right, so the memory jogger is, you want to write down everybody you know, friends, relatives, people you work with, massage therapists, business owners. Write down all these names. Doesn't matter who they are. And by the way, you do have a memory jogger in your packet too. So you can start, as you're thinking of people, write their names down. It doesn't mean you're going to call them all, because you may or may not. But you want to write them all down. You'll be driving your car, and all of a sudden you'll think of somebody. You want to probably either pull over and write it down right away, or if you got a speakerphone, you can speak into it and record it. Do it, because 30 minutes later you forget about them. But when you get in the zone, you start thinking of key people, and you think of them because they probably would be really good in this business. So who would be good in this business? Well, anybody that likes to help others, number one. I have to admit, the majority of the people in my business are women. Probably 70%. Why? I think it's because women pay more attention to their health. So because of that, I attract more women, and so who would be good? Anybody could be good. Will everybody be good? No. No, not, like an engineer is not usually a really good person in this business. Not usually. And I say that because they're more technical and detailed, and they're usually, I picture an engineer in a little cubicle by themselves designing stuff. They're not out there talking to people, you know what I mean? So that person in general, when I've attracted engineers, they bleed me to death with questions. And even after I've got all their questions answered, they still don't buy.
Cynical.
So I'm just trying to give you an example. So if you want to look for somebody who would be really good in the business, a massage therapist could be very good, a physical therapist could be very good, a chiropractor could be very good.
Hairdresser.
A hairdresser, because all they got to do is talk to people the whole time. I mean, anybody that owns their own business could be very good. Or you go to a party and you see one person talking to 5, 6 people, they could be extremely good because they have a little bit of influence. So people that have influence and people that are liked by the people are extremely good. So those would be your top people. So you make your list. So that's what I did. In HT, I made my list of 50 people. They say to make a list of 100. I said I wrote down 50, and I said I got a Rolodex of 200 there. So if I run out of 50, I got my Rolodex of 200. So then I started approaching these people. And what I did is, the next thing is how to approach anybody anywhere. So I've included in your packet how to do that. And it's how to approach anybody anywhere. And I use this exact formula. And I got it memorized, but I'm going to turn to it just for you guys. And I've actually changed it a little bit now over the years. But the basic thing is, I ask people, have you ever heard of the Chi machine? That's a very simple question. Have you ever heard of the Chi machine? They usually say, no, what's that? And I say, well, it's a machine that increases oxygen, energy, and circulation in 5 minutes. And they're like, really? They usually ask, how does it do that? And they really don't want to know the answer to that, okay? So I don't answer that question. Because it's kind of like you get in your car, nobody, if people say, well, how does that thing work? Well, they don't really care. All you got to know is you turn the key, you press on the gas, and you drive the steering wheel. It's away you go. It's that simple. So how does the Chi machine work? Well, I asked them, let me ask you this. Do you have any problems with lack of exercise, bad circulation, tired or sore muscles, poor digestion, constipation, arthritis, back pain, bone spurs, nervousness, general pain, insomnia, asthma, allergies, low energy, depression, chronic conditions, or overweight? And then you shut up. You wait for them to answer. Do you have any of those? Yeah, I do. But they might not tell you. So then I go, which ones? Well, then they'll tell you. And then my next question is, would you like to see if we could reduce or eliminate those? Now do you see that we're not trying to sell anybody anything? We're just asking questions, asking questions. Now if they say yes to that, which 99.99% of the time they're going to say, yes, I want to reduce or eliminate that problem, then your next option is to do one of a few things. In the beginning, I used to invite people over for demonstrations. I'd say, would you like to come over and try some equipment that I have proven will help you with those at no charge? Now, I don't do that anymore. I'm too busy working with so many people, so I asked them, would you be willing to watch a movie that will show you how you can eliminate, reduce or eliminate those things. You can't say eliminate, but reduce or eliminate. Again, we got to choose our words carefully because of the rules in HT, Canada, and US. So as long as you don't make any claims, you're just fine. And they usually say yes, but if you're starting your business and you want to personally demonstrate the machines to people, which is wonderful, that's how I built my business the first 6 months. So we didn't have any materials, we just demoed. Wonderful, do it. And then you can develop what you call a home party. The company even backs up on that. Do you guys still have home party packages?
Yeah.
That's how I built my business. But we didn't have home party packages when I designed the home parties. So we didn't have any of that. I just did them. I just invited like 20 people to my house, and if you invite 20, you'll get about 7 to show up.
That's bad.
No, it's not bad.
It works.
It's not bad. It doesn't matter what business you're in. If you invite 30, 10 will show up. And I'm talking personally inviting them over the phone, not just sending out 30 emails. No. You got to talk to them and get them excited and invite them. And how I invite them, I would get about 50% versus 30. What I would do is I'd invite people that had health problems. I know these health problems I got, and I'd say, would you like to see if you can come over and we'll demonstrate these machines and see if you can, please bring your pain with you or your problem with you and see if you can leave it with us. Well, they loved it. And I says, by the way, leave your checkbook at home. See, so then they knew I wasn't going to try to sell anything. I didn't know they had a credit card. So then they come over to the house, and their perception is, man, this guy's going to help me or this gal's going to help me, and I don't have to pay for it, which is great. And then I give them my presentation, which is about an hour long, and I explain each machine, and then I go through the pricing, and I put them on the equipment. So I did that multiple times, and then as I developed distributors, then I would go out and offer my services to help them do home parties. I said, just invite everybody. I'd tell them, don't tell them not to bring their checkbook, just invite them. And I'd say, invite 30 and you'll get 10, or invite 20, you'll get 7. And invariably the numbers worked every time. It's a numbers game, folks. Don't be disappointed that you only get 30% of the people to come. And sometimes, if they don't have a lot of influence, they might even only get 10% of the people to come. So I mean, I've done shows where there was 2, 3 people there. And I've done shows where there was 10, 12 people there. Well, then after that, then I started doing group meetings where there was 20, 30, 50, 100, 200. I think the biggest group was 200 or 300 I've spoken to. And when I've done training for the company and things like that. So it'll grow, but you got to start somewhere. Now, for people that want to do a home party and they're afraid to explain the equipment, well, heck, just get my DVD and invite them all over, plug this in, have them watch it, and put them on machines and answer their questions. And they'll use the machines right, because this DVD explains how to do it. It works. Or you can go on the internet, click on cheedvd.com, and play it there if you don't have the DVD. Just play it on your computer and have them watch it. I mean, it works, folks. I even had, when I first started, before I even had a DVD, I remember somebody a president, oh, she wasn't a president, but she wanted to become a president, in Canada, wanted to do a meeting. And my concern was, I just can't fly up to Canada and do a home party. Okay? So she wanted to do a home party. So I said, let's do this. Get your people all over to your house. It was Val Durinsky. I said, get your people over to your house. I said, and have them come there, and have a phone ready, and put me on speakerphone. I'll do the 30, 40 minute, 60 minute presentation. I'll answer questions, and you can put them on the machines. She had me do that 2 times, over the phone, just with the speakerphone. She sold a bunch of equipment, and then she took off. She started doing her own meetings. So I mean, folks, there's always a way. You can use me too. In fact, the company is using me to do like smaller groups where I don't have to leave my house. They hook up. Kenny's done this, where he goes out there and hooks up the stuff, and then I get in front of my desk and my camera, and bing, we're live, and we're all over the place. Wherever he's got it set up, I think you can even set up where the client, if they learn how to do it, what is that? There's another way to do that.
Like a webinar, you mean?
Yeah, like a webinar. You can do it. You don't have to use their equipment. You can have webinars all over the U.S. So anyway, that's multiple ways of doing it. Then, after they try the machines, or sometimes they're going to ask you how much are these machines when you first start talking to them. Now, here's what happens in the beginning. You know the value of the machines are up here. Your new person has never heard of a cheap machine, so the value of anything is down here. So here's the secret. Until you get the value up above the cost, because the cost is here, they're not going to buy. So you have to bring the value up above the price before they'll ever consider buying. Because if you tell somebody, well, that cheap machine's $500, and they've never even seen or heard of it before, oh, that's too much money. Until they watch the DVD and start to see the value of what it can do for them. Okay? So what I do is, if they say, how much is it? I say, well, if it was $10, it'd be pretty, let me look at the thing here. I don't get that question too much anymore. It's like I just get them to watch the DVD. But if the question occurs, let me ask this. If the machine was $10 and it didn't help, it'd be too expensive, right? And they go, yeah. And I go, well, if it was $1,000 and it took care of all your problems, it'd be cheap, right? And they go, yeah. I go, what's in between there? So then we just want to get them exposed to the information, any shape, way, or form. So like in the beginning, I used to mail out cassette tapes. I used to mail out brochures. I'd be on the phone doing 3-way calls all day long. Well, now I let the materials do most of my work for me. So I'll explain that in a little bit. So again, I basically go back to get them to come over or get them to watch a movie. Okay? So that's the simple way, and it works. It really does. Now, all people don't get interested, so I let my first talk find out if there's even an interest. Because if they don't want to even look at something or read something or listen to something or come over for a demo, I let it go. There's no sense. There's too many people that need our help, folks, to get worried about people that aren't interested. They're everywhere. They really are. And you're going to get some no's. It's part of the game. I don't know anybody that actually became successful without getting no's or having challenges. Did you know that Colonel Sanders, who developed Kentucky Fried Chicken, had his secret recipe, right, for his chicken? So he wanted to sell his recipe. So he went to a restaurant to try to sell his recipe to a restaurant. They told him to get lost. He went to a second one, get lost. He went to 30 of them, get lost. He went to 60 of them, get lost. He went to 90 restaurants, get lost. I think it was finally, or was it 1,000? It was like, I think it was either 100 or 1,000 times he got rejected before he finally got a restaurant to say yes. And then that's how Colonel Sanders' Kentucky Fried Chicken was born. How many people would get 100 no's before they, and keep going, before they, like Thomas Edison, to develop the light bulb, I forget the number, but it was huge. He failed hundreds of times before he finally developed electricity to develop the light bulb. Now, in this business, if I got 100 no's, I'd have been out of business. I mean, there's no way you're going to get 100 no's. I get very few no's now. I'll show you how I don't even ever get to the no part. It's real simple. So, here's what I do. People will call me up and they'll be referred to me by somebody, or they'll hear about something, or they'll start asking about the Chi machine. And I'll spend 10 to 15 minutes answering and asking questions. So I'll answer questions, I'll ask questions, and then, because I don't have an hour to explain everything over the phone, what I'll do is I'll say, would you be willing to go to my website and watch my movie that'll demonstrate how to use the machines properly, and it'll talk about how we can help you, and I'll inject their particular problem, because I've already got their particular problem memorized, and I've got it written down, by the way. When people call me, I immediately take a distributor application, and on the back side is blank. And I'm writing notes about this person. I'm writing, I got their name in the front, and I don't care if they become a distributor or not, I've already got their piece of paper and I got their notes. Like, they've got diabetes, their mother's got Crohn's disease, whatever it is, I'm writing these notes as fast as I can, and I'm listening to them. I'm writing down stuff. And they don't know this. And then I ask them if they're willing to watch the DVD, and they usually say yes. So then I tell them how to go to chidv.com. I say the movie starts to play instantly, but it stops after a minute. So don't even take that time. Just click on watch the full movie right away. It opens to a bigger screen, and they see me with the hamburger. Boom, that gets their attention. That 6-year-old hamburger, which is now 16 years old, that gets their attention. Then they're open to all these health ailments that are listed. That's like, yeah, I got that one, my brother's got this one. No, they're thinking. Because now, see, there's no selling going on here. They're relaxed. There's no pressure. They're just watching. And guess what? My DVD does the same thing every time. The DVD doesn't have a bad day. Doesn't have a headache. Doesn't go on vacation. It's always there. There's days when you might not feel like talking to people. There's days when you could be so sick you can't speak. You know, you're all plugged up. You don't even want to. There's days where, you know, you could have a tragedy in the family. You don't want to talk to anybody for a week. But if you let the DVDs work for you, and let the CDs work for you, and let all the information we got work for you, it can work for you every day. Just get them to go there. So then they sit back and they watch all this stuff. And then I ask them, well, actually I asked them beforehand, can I check back with you in 3 or 4 days about the DVD, see what you thought? And they usually say yes. Well, invariably, a percentage actually call me as soon as they're finished watching the DVD, and then they already know the big picture. They're about 70% sold, and they got a few more questions. And then all I do is I finish close them. And here's how it's worked for me. That's what's really well is I attract a lot of distributors that are very new at this type of business, which many of you probably are. which you don't have a lot of experience, number one, selling. You don't have a lot of experience closing, and you're almost afraid to ask for the sale. I mean, it kind of, the heart starts to flutter a little bit when you're about to say, do you want to buy something? You know, you just don't want to ask them that, do you? You don't want to say, do you want to buy a Chi machine? So I don't ever ask that. So what I do with a lot of distributors is I get them to follow this plan, get the people to watch the movie, and then I tell them, I will be willing to do a 3-way call with you and answer your person's questions after they watch the movie. So then all of a sudden, oh, really? Yeah, no problem. So then they get people to watch the movie. Then after the person watches the movie, they say, do you want to ask that guy some questions that did that movie? They think I'm a movie star because they don't know, you know. They think, boy, this guy's, he's on the internet, he's got a DVD, he's got a website. Yeah, I could talk to him, you know. And it's just little old me, you know. It's like I don't care. So then they get this person to call me, or they call me. You know, we set up a 3-way call, and then I go through my little questionnaire, which I just ask the person questions. I found out their problems. And I'm taking notes again. And by the end of the conversation, because they watched the movie, I'm closing 70% of those sales over the phone for that new distributor. And that new person is either buying machines or maybe even buying and becoming a distributor for that person. So how excited do you think you'd be if I could help you close 2 or 3 people? Boom, boom, boom. You know? Now I can only do this with so many people, so that's why I'm teaching my leaders to do the same thing. So if I can teach you guys to do this, and then you can help your people, you know, that's how it keeps on growing, growing, growing. Okay, so this is how I handle, so basically my DVD becomes my sorting tool. This is how I don't get no's anymore. After they watch the DVD, they only have 3 choices. They want to try the machines, they want to buy the machines, or they're not interested. If they're not interested, we don't need to have another conversation. If my DVD doesn't get them excited to at least try or buy, I don't need to waste any more energy talking to them. Because I've proven that that DVD can do a better job than I can personally. Because there's no pressure watching the movie. So I encourage you just to use it. You can use it free all day long at chidv.com. By the way, people can also get my website if they want their own website. So you just call me up and say, I want my own website. You get my entire website with all the movies, everything. The only difference is your name, your phone number, and your email address goes on that website. And now it's yours. It's $95. That includes the first year. After that, it's $24 a year. And there's no pricing on there. You can't buy on there. You can only get people to watch it, learn, and then you close them afterwards. So I purposely didn't put price on there because we have prices in Canada, we have prices in the US, we have prices in Australia. They're all different. And then if people see the lowest price, they want that price, which they can't get because they're in this country, you know? And so I eliminate the pricing. So when they call me, then I go through the pricing with them. So let's say they've watched the DVD, and now you follow up and you call back and you say, you follow up and you say, did you watch the DVD? And they go, yeah, I watched it. Great. So people will lie to you. They won't always tell you the truth. So I ask them, what did you think of the hamburger? And if they say, what hamburger, they never plugged it in or they never went to the internet, okay?
Yeah.
Because they don't forget the 6-year-old McDonald's hamburger. But if they know about that and they go, oh yeah, is it, you still got that thing? Yeah, it's now 16 years old, you know? So then I know they plugged it in and started watching it. So then I ask them, what did you think about the fake Chi machine? The reason I ask that is because in the middle of the presentation I demoed a fake Chi machine, which most people remember. Because the guy just goes weak. He's part of the filming crew. He just falls over. His arm just falls down. Put him on the real Chi machine, I can't pull down. And you can tell he's not, it's a real guy because he's part of the filming crew. And if you look at closely at the video, his jeans are all tattered and torn up, you know, like young kids wear. So if they can answer that question, ask them what do they think about the ERE machine. Because the last machine on the video is the ERE. If they can answer that, then I know they went through the whole movie. And that's what I really want, is I want them to have gone through the whole movie. Now, if they're only interested in Chi and they only watch the first part, that's okay too. So then, this is where closing begins. Ask them what interests them most about the DVD. And that's where I started taking notes, you know. I started getting my notes down. And then I always share testimonials based on their problems. I mean, if they've got diabetes, it isn't going to do you any good to tell them about something that you've helped with cancer. You know, if they've got cancer, it isn't do you any good to tell them about something about diabetes. Or it could trigger somebody else. So always try to relate testimonies based on them. So what I've got is I get lots of testimonies from all my clients and I save them. And I got a book of testimonies at home on all these different things. But if you're brand new, you don't have testimonies yet. So what's available is you can get these from me. The company used to produce them, but they don't anymore. So this is I call this the U.S. testimonial book, and I call this the Canadian testimonial book, because there's all Canadian testimonies in here about the Chi Machine, the hot house, and a little bit about the Erie. And in here there's testimonies about the Chi Machine, the hot house. This one actually has pictures of people, and by the way, they're in alphabetical order. So like this one, arthritis, asbestos, blood, spotted eyes, bronchial problems, cancer, chronic back pain, diabetes, fibromyalgia, headaches. So they're in alphabetical order, so you can easily look things up. And then you got somebody that's calling you about cancer. You can say, yeah, I got a story. Quick, open up and read to them over the phone about cancer. Okay, even if it isn't your personal story, it's a story that is real. And I know 70% of the people in here personally, because they were from my organization in Canada at one time. And then same with this one. It's all in alphabetical order. You know, blood pressure, cancer, diabetes, fibromyalgia, muscular dystrophy, neuropathy, shingles. So that's in alphabetical order. So it's good to have these two. They're very, very inexpensive. Currently, they're like $2.95 each. I mean, and they're like, I think 40, 50 some pages. Then we've got the collection by Dr. Nathan Lipton. And it says, Medical Case Histories, the Chi Machine in Hot House Far Infrared by Dr. Nathan Lipton, who was an ophthalmologist and he did eye surgery. Now these are very nice because they're also in alphabetical order, but each page is a single one that's huge, like circulation, prostate cancer. And again, alphabetical order, depression, hypertension. So what's nice about this book is you could copy a whole page and give it to somebody, or copy it and email it to somebody on their specific problem. Okay? Then the fourth book we have that's on testimonies is the one I was referring to yesterday, which shows the Korean photography in the front, and then inside it has information on the company, on the history of Dr. Inouye, and then also testimonies from A to Z on the Chi Machine, which are broken down, and then testimonies from A to Z on the hot house, which are broken down. They also talk about using the essential oils with the machines in here. They talk about a couple of scientific tests that were done, or the actually scientific tests that were done, and how to use the equipment. So we call this kind of like our Chi and Hot House Bible. This was the first thing that was developed. But so again, testimonies in this book. If you have all four books, you will probably have a testimony on almost anything that anybody ever asks about. So again, in the beginning, it's good to have that to bring your belief up in the products and in the company.
How much are the last two books?
I'm sorry. This one is $15, and this one is $19.95. That's U.S. pricing. So usually people just call me up and then they give me a credit card, and I bill it to their credit card, and I mail it off to them.
Excuse me, Jeff. Did I hear you say that you can't get the testimony books at the company?
No, they don't have any of those books. So this is all like stuff that we produce. I have produced in the field, and then we make them available for distributors because the company doesn't carry any of these anymore. In the U.S., they might still carry the Canadian one, but Canada does not carry the Canadian one anymore because of Health Canada regulations.
Okay.
So if you get it, you know, use it with your own discretion. You know what I mean? Just be careful how you use it. But they don't. I mean, we're still legal to share testimonies in the United States, and I guess you guys can't share testimonies in Canada. You can share them, but you're not supposed to show them, right?
The company cannot use testimonials.
Well, the company can. Okay, so then
But people can.
again, yeah. So that's why they had to quit selling them. So you can use them. So we're all legal.
We just can't say it.
Yeah, but just remember, don't tell anybody that anything will heal anything or cure anything. These are stories that people have gotten results with this equipment, with these particular problems.
Ask them if they're from Health Canada first.
Yeah.
Yes, we're doing healthcare.
I have a question though.
Yes.
You don't really want to pack those back home with you?
Yeah, if you want, yeah,
I'll buy
okay, yeah. Yeah. You're right, I can let them go. I'll have to take this one out of the binder because I got my notes in the other part, but I can give you everything, yeah.
And you save the 25 shipping to take them back with you.
Right, yeah, well, no, I work, remember I told you I'm frugal, I purposely bought a credit card that allows me to fly Delta, and I get one free bag checked. But I have to pay $100 a year for it, so if I fly twice, I broke even. If I fly 3 times in my head with Delta.
Yeah.
So I flew Delta out here. I try to fly Delta anytime I can to save on baggage fees. Okay, so we covered that. All right, so I told you about listening, taking notes, share the testimonies, and put all your attention on them. When you are talking to somebody on the phone or talking to a group of people, like I do most of my business on the phone. Now, when I'm on the phone talking to somebody, I'm taking notes. I'm not on the computer reading emails while they're talking to me. Because if you are, you're not really paying attention to what they're saying. You think you are, but you cannot really take care of a person, because all of a sudden they'll ask you a question, and you'll be semi-reading this email trying to listen, and you won't even answer the question properly because you didn't hear the whole thing. So, like I teach that, and in my upline, Bob Nelson, I'm talking to him, we're talking about some business thing, and all of a sudden I hear in the background, "You got mail!" I'm going, "Bob, you're not listening to me." And he's my upline, so I had to give him a little grief about that.
One of the tricks that we used to do is we always had a mirror by our phone.
Ah, sure, mirror.
Because you can watch your body language, you can
Yep.
watch your attitude, you can watch everything.
Great.
And you
Smile.
correct it fast.
Yes, yeah. So if you got a smile on your face, you're going to be talking better. You'll see yourself. You're looking good. Yeah. But if you're like, you're trying to sound good, but you got a frown on your face, it just doesn't work. You're absolutely right. Yep.
And you can pick up when people aren't really listening to you.
Exactly.
And I say right away, "What is it that you're doing? Call me back when you're done." Like,
Perfect.
because you know what? I just
Yep.
wasted my time with you.
Yep. So that's why you have to do the right thing first, and then hopefully they will be listening. So always focus on the people. We have 2 ears and 1 mouth for a reason. We should be listening twice as much as we're talking. By the way, I don't know if you know this, but you're actually in control of the conversation if they're doing more of the talking. Because they'll tell you everything you need to know. They will. So you ask a few key questions, let them go. Ask a few more key questions, let them go. Write notes. You're actually, they think they're running the conversation, but you're really running it. And that's really what it's about. Okay. So then, here's the closing question I use. And I use this all the time. I say, would you like to try the machines in the privacy of your own home with a 2-week money-back guarantee? And that's what I call a nice soft close. I can ask that question all day long. And they either got to say yes or no. Or ask a couple more questions. But after you ask the question, be silent. You got to let them answer. Don't just keep talking after you ask that question, or you're not going to make the sale. And in fact, as soon as I start getting buying signals, I'm starting to write up their order. And like if they say, well, okay, so then they usually say, well, how much is the machines? And then I go through, I always give them the current special. I never sell at this retail price that's out there. I always give them the current special because people are sharp these days. They will look all over the internet to find the best price. We're all on the same page. We can either sell the single machine price or the package machine price. Okay? And then on some packages they offer free shipping. In the States we don't even have that. You currently have some packages where it's free shipping. By the time people watch this video, there may not be any free shipping for anything. But I mean, it's all about getting on whatever the special is currently for that particular month. And the company has been real good at trying to keep the prices the same but adding a few tweaks here and there, because they used to change it so much. I said, this is getting crazy. I can't keep up with this stuff. So let's try to keep the prices the same, just always keep them good and low. They've been really consistent.
So are you saying, Jeff, that the company does have specials month to month?
No, they usually have quarterly specials.
Okay.
That's how it's currently been. There's a quarterly special that goes for 3 months, then they take that special and they tweak it a little bit, but it's still been pretty consistent over time. So basically, I have the specials sitting right in front of me. Canadian specials, US specials. So when they want to know the price, boom, boom, boom. I can tell them exactly the price of everything. And it's printed out from the company's website, so I got everything accurately. I know actually how much shipping is for each machine. See, I mean, I can be in the car on my cell phone, driving on the highway, talking to a client, and I've got all the US prices memorized, because they don't change much. So I can, in fact, Kenny and I had done a meeting. We were traveling in our vehicle, in my vehicle, and I said, Kenny, I said, I gotta call this there guy. I said, he called while we were doing the meeting. I said, I gotta call him back. I think he's ready to buy. So I got on the speakerphone and I called him back, and I answered a couple of questions, and I said, yeah, this is how much it is. I said, would you like to place your order right now? He says, well, you're driving, right? I says, that's okay, my buddy's next to me, he can take the order. And so I threw Kenny a pen, and my notepad I keep in a chart. He wrote down the guy's name, address, and I'm driving along, he's writing down the guy's credit card number, and I go, Kenny, there's $180 I just made, or whatever it was at the time, you know, the machine. He goes, man, you're good. But he kind of knew that. He knew it's like, I can be anywhere and I can take, I mean, I'm on vacation, I'm taking orders, writing down credit card numbers and calling the order in or emailing it to the company. And, you know, I mean, I'll be on vacation and I'll spend a couple hours working and make a couple $100 and go back to my family on vacation. You know, it's just, I mean, I just integrate things, you know what I mean? So I just love it. All right. So when I sell, again, I'm asking questions, So the sale is just part of it. So how do you make the sale? So what I do is to make a sale, because I give the price, and you know, you can almost hear people flinch sometimes over the phone, like, ooh, it's a little bit more than I thought it was going to be. And then of course I have to then say, well, you know, if it's going to help all your problems, I said, that's cheap. You buy this once, you don't need to buy another one from me. Well, how long do they last? Well, mine's 16 years old. It's still working fine, you know. I tell them that. And I've got people that have had them for 18 years. So I said, the lifespan could be as long as you live. I don't know for sure. And then I say, you know what? If you want to save a little bit more money, how would you like to become a distributor? And you'll get a commission back on machine number 2, and machine number 3, and any future machines that you buy or sell. And they go, oh really, how does that work? So then I explain that, like, I'm not going to give a dollar amount here because there's different distributorship prices in Canada and US, but they're small. And usually the commission that you get back on machine number 2 is more than what you paid for distributorship. So then I explain that to them, and it's like, so that brings the price down. And I say, well, how would you like to write these machines off as a business expense? Really? How do you do that? He says, well, by becoming a distributor, you automatically now are in the business, and your intention now is to show these to other people so you can write them off as a business expense. See what I'm doing? I'm bringing the price down, down, down. Then I say, you know what? If you tell a few other people about these machines, the company will send you even more commissions, so you could end up getting your machines for free. I've got the machines down at nothing now. Do you think they're going to want to buy? Of course. It just gets cheaper and cheaper and cheaper. So now all of a sudden the value's going up. They're getting these medical devices and they can get them for free. I mean, if you buy one Qi machine and become a distributor and sell 8 more Qi machines, you've got your machine totally paid for and you're in the profit. I mean, but again, that's how we used to teach. We don't teach anymore. I mean, now if you buy a Soki bed, you become an instantaneous supervisor in one day. That means now you're at the 24% level versus the 15%, and when you bring people in, you're going to automatically make 24%. So the next thing is, the question asked the same person is, would you like a part-time or full-time income by helping others? Just like, I'm kind of building them up. Remember I told you I'm bringing the price down, down, down?
Yeah.
And then would you like me to help you build your business? I'm always offering my services to them. And they're thinking, wow, I got a partner that's going to help me. And I work for free, you know, because my goal is to help them become as successful as they possibly can. And if they're successful, I'm that much more successful. So then we fill out the application form. And I always either call the initial order in for them or help them call it in. In the beginning, most distributors don't know that they should do this. You can either email it in, you can fax it in, you can call it in, or you can go through the company's computer and do it through the website, but I always call it in. I like to do it because I know it's done, and I get the confirmation number. But new people make the mistake of saying, well, here's my ID number, call your order up into the company. Never, ever, ever do that. You will lose 50% of the business. We're in a service-oriented business, number one. Number two, they may end up going online and not even going to the company's website, but going to another distributor's website that looks like the company's and ordering from this other distributor, and you've lost the sale. Or they'll change their mind or forget to do it. So anytime somebody's wanting to order, I immediately start taking care of everything for them. And long distance people, I'll get all their information, write it all down, and then I tell them I'm going to mail you the application. And in the States, we have to have an application and a W-9. In Canada, it's just an application. So we have to have both of them signed, because if you don't have your application into the company signed and dated, they will never ever give you your commission check until they get that paperwork. So it's extremely important that you make sure all the paperwork gets to the company. And I leave it up to the distributor. I mean, I do my best. I fill it out for them. All they got to do is sign and date it, and I mail it to them. And I got a note there, please send to, the address and everything. So then when I get a new distributor like that, I ask them, do you have a DVD player? They say, if they say yes, I say, do you have a CD player? If they say yes, then I gift them some of my materials, like a CD, a DVD, maybe multiple DVDs or CDs. I also always give them that, usually the U.S. testimony book. I always give them a copy of that. If they buy an electro-reflex energizer, I'm giving them the advanced electro-reflex energizer book that we produce, because it's got 52 pages of how to use that thing that you can't get anywhere else. If they buy a Soki bed, I'm working with them personally, I might give them the index testimony book. I have to tell you this, there's only two people currently in the company that have the highest volumes. One is myself and one is one of my downlines. Her name is Mara Gerke, and she does what I do. But she does what I guess what I do. I thought I said something wrong. And she mails out a packet of goodies every time a new distributor comes in. And she has the highest volume in my entire organization. So really it's about education, because everything I give out to people, guess what? My name and number is on that information, on every piece of information if I'm giving it to them. So after they get it, then they have a question, they call me back. If they have a sale, they call me back. So they're always calling me, and I make tons of sales. I mean, I get sales from people that don't even know where they found my information. Because I've given out so much information, and people will drop it off or sometimes leave it in offices or chiropractic places or massage therapists, and somebody might pick it up. My name's on there. They don't even, I say, well, how did you get referred to me? They go, I don't know, I just found this piece of paper with your name on it. Free sale, cha-ching. So anything you give away, have your name and phone number and address if you want to on it. It works like, well, as you build up, it just kind of keeps coming back. So let's see, I covered that.
Which page are you on, Jeff?
I'm on page 4, and it says never, never, never tell them to place their own order. And then I told you I give them extra information, DVDs, CDs, brochures. And then after the machines arrive, follow up and check on them. Make sure the machines are working properly. By the way, the company in general has a 98% success rate. That means if you get 100 people to try the machines for 2 weeks, because we have a 2-week money-back guarantee, 98 out of 100 people will keep their machines because they work that good. I run closer to a 99% success rate or higher because I try to give them the extra information, plus I want to make sure that they're using their machines properly. Okay? And if they're using their machines properly, they're going to get the benefit. And in a few minutes, I'm going to go through how to save a cheese sale that you've lost, and it's because the client didn't use it properly. And I got a questionnaire, we're going to explain that. So now you can ask them how many people they know who could benefit from our machines and have them make a list just like you did. And then you can start working with them in their list. So moving your new person forward. Basically repeat everything you did with your new distributor. So make sure they believe in the machines. Do they want to do this as a business? Write down their goals. Start working with their list of people. And use the approach. How do you approach anybody anywhere? Use the same approach. And it's kind of like, why reinvent the wheel if it's worked for so long? In any business when I get in, I look at the most successful people in the business and I just copy them. But I'm not that smart. I'll be honest, I'm not that smart. I have to listen, hear, watch, or read something 7 times before I get it. And once I get it, and then I start teaching it, then I really get it. Okay? So, you're not going to learn everything the first time around, folks. Or the second time, or the third time. You can watch my DVD 7 times. In fact, this is how crazy this business is. I produced that original DVD 9 years ago. A year and a half ago, I'm sitting there, I thought, I'll just watch my DVD again. I plugged it in, watched it, because I hadn't watched it in 7 years. I did it, And I'm like, I'm taking notes. Well, that's some good stuff. I forgot. I got to use that my next time. So, and I was in the water business. I remember to be successful in the water business, I took the top guy. He had a cassette tape. I listened to it 8 to 9 times, and I duplicated what he did. And I became one of the top sellers of water products in that particular business because I copied the best. I wasn't the top, but I got pretty close. So just copy the best. You need to set a good example. In our business, you need to stay focused on, you can have multiple businesses, but only one of them is really going to be successful. And you got to focus on that. I mean, when I came into this business, I already had 3. So I got rid of one to make room for this one. And this one today is 80% of my income comes from this one, and my 2 other businesses that I had before, I still have those, and they're producing about 20%. But this is my focus, this is my number 1, and then the other ones I just kind of maintain. I got people helping me with those. You can't be highly successful if you're trying to run 2 MLM companies at the same time. And if anybody could do it, it would be me, and I tried, and I failed. Because what happens is, you can't be passionate and really try to drive a company forward if you're trying to do 2 at once. It's kind of like trying to ride 2 horses. How are you going to do that? Or could you handle 2 wives or 2 husbands? Some people might think they want to try, but I mean, one's more than enough, right? Ron's saying, kudos to that.
Ron's not saying anything.
I know.
He's good.
Oh, good. So I just tell you this, can anybody, I've asked this question, show me anybody that earns over $100,000 a year and 2 multiple marketing companies at the same time, and I'll take back everything I said. I have not found anybody that ever could do that. Over 100,000 and 2 companies at the same time. I'm going to read this now, the last one. Modern science proves that everything in our world is comprised of energy, everything. Our house, our car, our bodies, at the quantum level are 99.999% energy. You cannot create high energy results from a low energy body. So pay attention to what you eat, drink, read, watch, say, do, and think about. Are these things increasing your energy level or are they reducing your energy level? Like attracts like. So try to hang around positive-minded people. Try to read positive-minded books. If you're always talking about a problem, it's going to continue to haunt you. And more things will come about. I've been down that road before where, woe is me, and this is wrong, and blah, blah. And guess what? It was like the universe kept dumping more doo-doos on me. Things just kept getting worse and worse and worse because you attract what you talk about, what you think about. If you're eating a healthier diet, you're going to feel better, so you can have more energy. And when I speak to people, it's more about my feeling from my heart that comes through as from my head. When you believe in your product, you're speaking from your heart, And people will feel that whether they're seeing you or not. They'll feel it over the phone. They'll feel it in a communication. You know, like a video, anything. They can feel that. So good salespeople will emit the truth from their heart, not from their head. We actually have the best machines in the market. There's nothing that duplicates this. They tried to copy the cheap machine, doesn't come close. The saunas are nice, but the far infrared saunas, but they can't heal like the far infrared can. We have the Go Green, we have the enzymes, we have the Beta-Los, we got the best of consumable products. So I'm committed to helping HT continue to bring on more new products, and along with the best machines, they even come out with new machines now and then too. And so stick with us for the ride of your life. Now I'd like to address a couple other things regarding turn back after how to approach anybody anywhere.
What's that?
Turn to the page where it says Oxygen, Energy, and Light Therapy. It's after the how to approach anybody anywhere. This sheet I use in my home. You can use them in your office, in your home, in your business, if you're doing a show. And it's more like a waiver sheet. So it has people check off the things that are wrong with them. It has them, so you know what's going on. It has them basically agree that they're okay with using these machines at their own discretion, and then they sign it and date it, and then they can give you their name and phone number and everything. And then I can put people on the machines and feel comfortable doing it. It's kind of like a little bit of a waiver sheet.
Yeah.
Would it hold up in court? I don't know it. We've never needed to try. We've never, ever permanently hurt anybody in our 25 years of business with any of our equipment. So, but some people are concerned about this, so kind of like a massage therapist has people sign a waiver form, and therapists do the same thing, and sometimes doctors. So it's kind of good to have this, plus it gives you you can capture now their information so you can follow up later. Like if you're doing a show and you're running 30, 40, 50, 100 people through your booth in a day, you've got all their information. And I used to work shows, I don't anymore because I don't need to, but when I used to work shows, we used this, and the back side would be blank, and I'd be taking notes on them as they're telling me about stuff, and then they'd put them on the machines, and then they would have some questions, and I'd have like stars, like 3 stars would be like a really good candidate, 2 stars, you know, I mean, my own secret little formula about which ones I'm going to call back first. You know, I mean, you want to work with the hottest people, not the coldest people. So that was my little thing there for that. Then this is a business card that I've used for many years, but you can change up your business card any shape, way, or form you want to do that. I offered a free one treatment like session. You don't have to offer that. But the thing is, the key is, do you have problems with stress, insomnia, low energy? It gets them to realize they do have one of these problems, and then that's why I offer them the one free session, or ask about our 2-week no-risk trial, which is from the company. So it isn't up to us to be responsible for that. In fact, I teach my people, don't buy tons of equipment to sell. Don't do that. We're not in an inventory business. You don't need to. A couple reasons. One, you don't want to spend all your money and have it invested in that. Just buy what you need for yourself. If you can do a big business, you can be like me and have a few extra machines for rental or for loaning out. But I don't recommend loaning. I recommend renting. When I used to loan out machines, a lot of them, half the people, a week later I'd go to call them or pick them up and they hadn't even plugged it in. When I rent machines out, guess what? They're using that machine every day and they're getting results. So I teach people, don't loan out machines. It's a waste of time and energy. And anybody can afford what I charge. Is I got one of the last sheets I have there is like what I charge when I rent out machines. It's I think it's listed. Oh, actually, it was in yesterday's packet. The packet I had out yesterday was like $25 a week for a Chi machine, $35 a week for a regular hot house, $45 for a large one, I think $30 for an e-power machine a week, and $30 for an ERE. That's my numbers. You can use any numbers you want. People have told me that I'm way too cheap. But what happens is, not only do I get that rental income coming in, most of those people end up buying. So then I make a sale on top of it, because I've helped them. Let's go ahead.
Do you sell them the equipment that you
No.
rented them?
No, I do
So
not
you pick
sell.
up the rental and they get brand new shit.
Right, right. And what I do, because I'm so busy, I do not take machines out to people's homes and pick them up anymore. If people want to rent from me, they come to my house, they pay me the rental fee, they pick up the machine, they bring it back a week later. And if you're slightly concerned about them maybe not bringing it back, I would take their credit card number, expiration date, and security code, all their information, and have it on file so that if they don't bring it back, they just bought it, and you buy a new one and replace the one that they didn't bring back. That's a good policy to have. I've never personally lost a machine, and a lot of times because I work with people I trust. And usually attract people I trust, but once in a while there can be a bad apple. And I remember in the beginning I loaned out a machine to a distributor, and then she in turn loaned it out to someone else, and I didn't get that one back. But you know what? It sounds like a lot, but in the scheme of 16 years of the income I've made, it's like a drop in the ocean. You know, so, but I'm just teaching this so that you don't ever have to be, because if you're brand new and you're only making a couple $100 a week, losing a machine is an ouch. You know, but if you're making $10,000, $20,000, $30,000 a month, losing a machine is like a drop in the bucket. Right? It's all in perspective, you know. All right, so then 2 a day for success. I teach people that if you want to be successful, you need to approach 2 people a day, 5 to 6 days a week. Now, when I got in the business, I knew that, but I actually did 5 a day. My goal was every day I talked to 5 people a day. And as long as I did that, I was moving forward, I was growing quickly, and I ended up doing, like as an example, if I would go do a presentation to 10 people, well, I just got 2 days under my hat. Or I'd do a presentation to 20 people, I just got 4 days under my hat. But I didn't let that slow me down. Even if I had a day where I had 20 people, the next day I still did 5 more. 5 more. And within 30 days, I had approached so many people and got so many others involved that I didn't need to go looking for new people very much. See, that's the secret to this business. Remember that list of 50 people I told you I wrote down? Well, I started working that list. I started helping them with their people and helping those people with those people. I never got through my 50 names. I lost the list. I don't know where it is today. I never need it anymore. When you start bringing in new people and you start working in depth, you have all the people you need. You never run out of people. But when you only talk to your friends and relatives and you don't teach the business part, or you don't get below them and help other people, when you run out of your friends and relatives, your business is done, basically. You know what I'm saying? And that's the issue with a lot of people. They're not taught how to work in depth. Like you guys are probably sometimes, you could be, I don't even know, but some of you here are 10, 15 levels below me. You could be, I don't know. I mean, Cody's 1, your mom, Phyllis is 2, then Donna's 3, then whoever Donna brings in is 4, but that's actually under their breakaway president. So I mean, it doesn't matter how deep people are in my business. I dig for gold. Okay, it's called digging for gold. And you could have like 10 people in a row that all buy, but only one of them is really going to become successful. And I'll go down that line and try to find out which one and work with that one. What will happen is that gets all the people above them excited once that person starts working and generating income for all those other people. So by me helping somebody 10 levels down, even though I'm not making that much, it just got all the other 9 levels excited where they might go to work. So don't ever be concerned about helping somebody too far down your lineage. They're all part of your group. So this talks about if you do 2 a day, which is the minimum amount of activity that's required, then you're going to grow consistently. And let the DVDs work for you. The DVD never has a bad day, never has a headache, never gets sick, like we talked about earlier. So let the DVD work for you. And you can read all that later about that. Now here's a nice piece. What questions to ask if your customer has a complaint or asks to return a Chi machine. And again, I'm teaching you only things I've proven work. This works so great. So because I've got a lot of distributors who sell equipment, they don't always teach how to use the equipment properly to their new person. And so invariably, because everybody seems to know me, I get the call with the complaint from the person that's got the machine. Because they go, well, that person that I bought it from doesn't know a thing about it, so I'm going to call Jeff. He's going to take care of getting the machine back to the company, or he's going to answer my questions. So they'll call me and they'll say, Jeff, this machine just isn't working the way I like it. I need to return it. And I'm like, okay, well, let me ask you a couple questions. So the first question I ask them is, how many minutes did you use the Chi machine? And like that one lady I shared with yesterday where she had used it 5 minutes the first day, 10 minutes the second day, and 15 minutes the third day, and she was sicker than a dog, and she was 7 years old because she way overused it. So that's why I asked that question, because you really want to start people off slowly, from 2 to 4 minutes or 2 to 6 minutes, and then have them gradually increase by 2-minute increments. So I asked that question to find out how many minutes they use it. If they've overusing it or increased too quickly, I can tell them that's why they're not feeling so good, if that's the issue. I'm going to ask them how many times per day do they use the Chi machine. It's best if a person uses it twice a day in the beginning. You can use it more, but twice a day is on the average best amount. Are you drinking water before and after the Chi machine? And guess what? I find out a lot of people aren't drinking the water. Well, that Chi machine is stirring up all those toxins, and they're not going anywhere, and they're feeling crappy. Drink the water, flushes it out. I also ask how much water. And they should be drinking like a cup before and a cup after or more. Then I also ask them, was it warm or cold water? Your body's 98 degrees. If you drink room temperature water or warm water, it's going to be much more effective. Did I share with you yesterday about the guy that couldn't lose weight?
No.
There was a guy, David Greer. He was a diabetic, and he was actually going to lose his leg. There was an open wound about this big on his leg, and he had been to all the doctors, been to the Mayo Clinic in Minnesota. Nobody could get his leg to heal. And he decided that he was going to die before he let them cut his leg off. So anyway, his wife happened to run across the Chi machine through my upline, Bob Nelson, and they said that it's all about circulation. If you start using this, they think to get some circulation going there, maybe it'd heal. So anyway, you know, husbands are kind of stubborn sometimes. And the wives kind of like, sometimes they can make the husbands do things, which sometimes. So the wife encouraged the husband really hard to use the Chi machine. Well, he did. He started using the Chi machine, and after about a week, he felt itching going on. He pulls the bandages off. Son of a gun, if it didn't start to heal, there was a scab forming over. Well, long story short, he got his leg to heal because it's all about circulation. But as a diabetic, he was also very overweight. And so he had heard all these stories about people losing weight with the Chi machine. He didn't lose any weight. So he's a little disappointed. Well, then he started drinking warm water before the Chi machine, warm water after the Chi machine, warm water 1 hour before the Chi machine, and warm water 1 hour after the Chi machine, and then using the arm position over the head, and the weight started to come off. And so he was excited. So I tell people it's better to drink at least room temperature water versus cold water, or even warm water versus room temperature water. I always drink just room temperature, which is about 70 degrees. Because it's like shocking the body, so the room temperature will just flow through the body much better. Which way is the Chi machine handle facing when you're using it? I've had people call me and say, Jeff, this Chi machine, I don't like it, my ankles hurt, it's not doing a thing for me. And I go, well, which way is the Chi machine handle facing? And they go, just a minute. They drop the phone, they go and look, they come back, what's facing me? I'm like, oh, no wonder you're not getting results. They say, it's totally wrong. It's designed to have the handle facing away from you because it's angled down so that your ankles are comfortably in there. You will actually hurt your ankles and not get the results if it's facing the wrong way. So it's imperative to tell people that they have to have the handle facing away from them. So again, all these questions have saved sales after sales after sales from over the years. I don't get a lot of these questions anymore because I make sure that I tell them, number one, they saw it in the video, plus I have the company. The company now puts in a page that gives them all these instructions. But you know, a lot of people don't read, so it's still, once in a while, few people fall through the crack. Then I ask them, what did you do when the Chi machine stopped? And they go, well, like Donna was saying, I just got up. Well, you're missing 60% of the benefit if you get up right away. And number two, you're going to be kind of dizzy for a while. And so I've only done that once. I got dizzy and I learned, you know, stay down for 2 minutes. So again, I've saved sales because of that. Because man, my husband's all dizzy all the time, and it's not because he's a dizzy guy. It's because the machine got him dizzy because he didn't lay there for 2 minutes. You know, guys are always in a hurry. So did you move? Did you get up? Did you lay still for 2 minutes? So I always ask them what they do. I don't want to coach them on what they should have done. I want to know what they did. So I don't give them the answer until I find out what they did. And I don't want to even give them a prelude to what the answer should be, because people will, no, I drank the water if you tell them they should have drank water. So in general, do you have any knee pain, back pain, past or present? And if they do, they may need to use a knee pillow like we showed earlier, which is The company doesn't sell these, but I've got them available. If you want to buy 10 or more, I'll just send you right to the manufacturer. You can buy them from the manufacturer. These were designed specifically for the Chi machine so that the knees fit right here on top. There's enough pressure or foam in here that it just barely goes down, so it gives you the good support you need. So Deanna Sudwick's actually designed this just for the Chi machine. You could probably get away with one of those round bolster pillows too, but they're not going to be as good. And then we had another friend try to duplicate that pillow. She says, they're kind of expensive. I can make them cheaper. I says, go ahead. I says, if they work, I'll buy them from you. Never heard back from them. And I called her and I says, what happened? She goes, well, we couldn't make them the right way. I'm always looking for something cheaper, but it's got to work. You know what I mean? What type of surface are you using when you use the Chi machine? And like this carpeting right here, if it's this kind of carpet, it's too hard. It's gonna hurt your back and shoulders. You want to be on a soft carpeting, or you could put a mat on here, or you could get like a yoga mat or something from one of your local stores and put that down on hardwood floor, or you can be up on the soaky bed. I even put a little foam mat on my soaky bed because it's got a little bit of cushion, but it's not enough for me, especially the longer I'm on there. So that will totally save sales. When people call me up and they're ready to turn in the machine and get your money back, 90% have been solved right here with these questions. That's simple. Let's see what else we got. All right. Common questions that are asked. So common questions are, how long should I use each machine when I first start out? And so you need to know, in general, how long a person should use each machine when they first start out. So the Chi machine, of course, like I said is before, 2 to 6 minutes, depending on their age and their health. If they're in good health, start 1 to 6 minutes. Hot house, we've taken people and they've jumped right into the hot house. So there's really almost no limit. With the hot house, more is better. Always more is better. But you do have to drink at least 1 to 3 glasses of water for every hour of hot house use. So these are just the bare bones minimum things you should know about the machines. The ERE machine, the electric reflex energizer, people usually start off between 15 and 30 minutes with that. And that's usually just enough. And we talked about parasites yesterday, and sometimes they do twice a day for 15 minutes for 30 days consecutively. The e-power machine, it's recommended to do it in the time on the screen, 30, 60, or 90. Okay? And it's best to start off with 30 minutes on low in general, and then work your way up to, high and medium, or medium and high later on. Because, but unless you're dealing with severe health conditions, then you can go right to high. Like I shared with Dr. Cabrielas, who puts people on high with diabetic legs. Immediately puts them on high for 1 hour. But there's always exceptions to the rule. So what you do is you try to find what their problems are, and then address those problems accordingly. So if somebody's got full-blown cancer, I mean, they're going to get underneath that hot house and they're going to live there, for as long as they can, and drink the water. Which machines can I use if I have metal rods in my body? All of them. It's not a problem. I get that question all the time. It's not going to, the hot house will not heat up the rods, no problem. Can I use the hot house over my face? Definitely. Ignore the thing on the side of the hot house that says do not use over face and eyes directly. You can use it on your face. I'm telling you, 16 years, I look okay, right? So I put it over my face every day purposely. And we have also another guy in our business. His name is Kent Murphy. He's been with us for about 15 years. And he's always put it over his face like I have. And in fact, when they first started doing it, they would use a good moisturizing cream, a healthy one, going to hot house. And he started looking younger and younger. I mean, so you can even use just coconut oil. Coconut oil is a good moisturizer, raw organic coconut oil, cold pressed. Put on your face, going to hot house, it's great. Moisturizes, just wonderful. In fact, that's all I use. I use coconut oil for my face too. So I kind of like taking his way of doing it, just do that. So yeah, ignore the label on the hot house that says what it says. Can I use the Chi machine if I have back problems? Most of the time the answer is yes. If there's pain when they go to the Chi machine, then I'd say just start it for like 30 seconds, and if there's pain, then maybe stop it. But they could always use the chair method, which we demoed yesterday, which we'll talk about later. So the chair method is just sit down, put your feet in it, and it wiggles you up to your waist. Then put your arms in it, sit down, wiggles you down to your waist. Anybody can do that. People in wheelchairs can do that. So I don't care what, I've worked with people with laying down the chi machine. I've had broken necks, herniated discs, spasms in their back, and they were all fine, and they got better. Do you think the chi machine could have made me feel sick? Yes, I absolutely do if they overused it. So that's why I got asked those questions we talked about. How long did you use this chi machine? Did you drink the water? And what did you do after it stopped? So yes, the chi machine could make somebody feel sick if they didn't use it properly. If I have a pacemaker, which machines can I use? You can use the chi machine, no problem. You can use the hot house, but we recommend just not putting the hot house over the pacemaker. You should not use the electroreflex energizer or the EPAR machine with a pacemaker unless you get your doctor's approval. And we've had a few people that have gotten their doctor's approval, but very few. So how do you respond when somebody says these machines are too expensive? Well, one question I ask them is say, too expensive compared to what? You know, they're asking you a question, but you need to know, what are you comparing it to? I mean, because most people have a TV in their house that costs more than the machine does. And that isn't going to get their health back. So really, that can be addressed very easily. So like one gal said, well, it's too expensive compared to my wash machine. And I just didn't quite get it. So anyway, I mean, you got clean clothes, but how about your body? Your body's worth more than your clothes, you know?
I guess you need the wash machine.
So what is your response when somebody says, I can't afford it? Well, if they really can't, and if a lot of people say they can't afford it, but they can afford it, but that's just an excuse that they're giving you. So you need to find out, why can't they afford it? What I start to do is I say, well, would you like to get that price reduced? And we talked about this earlier, where they become a distributor. That gives them a rebate back if they buy more than one. Number two, if they become a distributor, I will help them sell machines. So if I can help a person sell a chi machine, which this happened, exactly this happened, they said, Jeff, I can't afford it. I said, well, do you know a lot of people that have health problems? They said, yeah. I said, well, tell you what, why don't you put this, I don't do this anymore, but I did this in the beginning because I really want to help this lady. I said, why don't you put together a home party and invite all your sick friends over, tell them to leave their checkbooks at home, and I'll come and do the home party, and then if we have enough sales, you can order, we'll get all the sales put underneath you, and if we get enough sales, yours will be free. She goes, great idea. We did it. Guess what? We had 7 sales from that meeting, just chi machines, because in the beginning that's all I sold was chi machines. And she bought her chi machine, and she was like $35 or $45 shy of having her total everything paid for on her first order. I mean, she ordered and boom, boom, boom. So before her credit card bill was due, she already had the money coming back to pay the credit card bill. So I mean, you can work it that way too. What is your response when someone tells you that they can get a chi machine for $150 or less? Well, they can't get the original chi machine for $150 or less. They can get a fake one. And that's where I talked about the muscle testing with the fake machines. You know, we talked about earlier, where I just put them on the fake machine, and in just a few seconds, their arms will go weak. Put them on the real chi machine, in a few seconds, their arms will go strong. And it works every time. Did I share with you the story about the chiropractor I was working with just 2 weeks ago? Does that ring a bell with anybody? So 2 weeks ago, I got a call from my brand new client who had just bought a used chi machine from me because she couldn't afford one. I happened to have a used one. I sold to her. And she said, Jeff, my chiropractor is asking me what I'm doing because I'm adjusting so much easier. And she said, I told him about this chi machine. And she said, he's interested. So would you give him a call? I said, sure. So I called him up, got his wife, and they said, yeah, we're really interested in that chi machine. I said, great. We set up the appointment. And then she calls back 30 minutes later and says, can we change the appointment for 30 minutes earlier so we got time to try it and you can explain it to us and stuff before the first client comes in? I said, sure. And I got a call 1 hour later, and she says, let's cancel the appointment. And I'm like, after 16 years in the business, I know something's up, and it's nothing about me. It's right away, I knew in my heart and my mind that she was probably hacking around online, and she found a cheap chi machine. I knew that. So when she said she wanted to cancel the appointment, I said, oh. I said, you know what? I didn't even address her cancellation comment. I said, you know, there's about 12 fake cheat machines in the market. I said, and you know what? You guys are chiropractors. You guys know kinesiology, right? And she says, yeah. I said, you know, I purposely test these fake cheat machines on people, and in 8 seconds, their bodies go weak. And I put them on our real cheat machine. In 8 seconds, their bodies go strong. I said, as a matter of fact, I have 2 of the fake machines, and I'd be more than happy to bring them over and demo them to you against the real one. And then I stopped and I paused, and she said, well, I was just on the phone with the guy that's going for 99 bucks. And I laughed. I said, oh, that's the $99 wonder. I said, they have over a 50% return ratio on that. I said, that thing will make your body go weak in the first 2 seconds. She goes, okay, you still got the appointment, come on back. And then I went over there, I demoed it to both of them. They both went weak on the fake cheat machine, which is, by the way, was the best of the fake ones. I think it was an Evergain 2000. I tried to buy the most expensive one cheap. I did. And they went weak. And then they put them on the hard cheat machine, and boom, they went strong. And they said, okay, we'll take one. So boom, just like that. So anybody can be successful as long as you know and believe in what you're talking about, and you've got the information to address any concern they've got. Now, the average person that's a new distributor would have lost that appointment and never to get it back. They would have bought a fake machine, and they'd have never known what they were missing unless they tried a real one. I've had sales I've closed after people had used the real one from one of my distributors, then they bought the fake one because they were cheaper, then they came back and bought ours because they knew the difference, see? But if you don't know the difference, you don't know the difference. You don't know that you're missing out. Because once you've been on the real cheat machine for a week, and then you do a fake one, you'll get back to the real one. You'll pay whatever it takes to go back to the real one. All right. Then we've got, I use this flyer a lot as my business card. I say if you want good health and you like to read, by the way, I put it on usually on a colored paper like a green or purple or whatever, any color. I say if you want good health and like to read, then visit chidvd.com and read about our machines. If you want better health and you like to listen, then visit chidvd.com and watch the full movie. If you don't care about improving your health or your family's health, then throw this information away. Thanks for choosing chidvd.com. Sincerely, and my name and phone number. I mean, I can put these flyers out all over the place. You can do the same thing if you want to get your website. Get your own website. You can put yours. Do the same thing. Just put your name and number at the bottom, and you've got your own website. So it'd be chidvd.com/ and Donna or Sue or Jim or whatever. If you get your own website. And then there's the price of the websites in the back. $95 for a year. If you want it, and then $24 a year after that. So we keep the website updated with the new products as the company brings them out. You don't have to do anything. If you need to change an email address or your phone number, we change that. It's all part of the thing. The only thing is people cannot buy off the site at this point. It's a duplicatable site that there's no price and it's all free information. My movie's on there. There's actually 4 different movies on there. There's information on each machine. And some of this material may be on there after we get it all developed. So that's that. Then also, this is important. This is a mileage book. Remember I talked about it's not how much money you earn that counts, it's how much money you keep at the end of the year. So you all came to this meeting today. If you're a distributor, you can write off your mileage as part of your business expense to the meeting and back home. You guys had lunch today? If you're in the business, you can write off, I don't know if it's a portion of that, but your meals, because we're talking business, okay? So your mileage, so in the U.S., right now it's like 50-some cents per mile. So every 10 miles, it's like throwing a $5 bill out the window if you're not keeping track of your business miles. When you travel and go visit somebody and you demo the machines or talk about them, that trip becomes an expense. Your home becomes an expense if you got the business in your home and it's separate from everything else. So again, this is one fun business, and you're going to want to take advantage of. I can't speak on specifically your particular situation, but you can, as long as you know the rules, An in-home business is one of the few things you can still take advantage of special tax rules that benefit you. Alright? Okay, I'm gonna now open up for questions. If anybody's got any questions? Yes.
Can we roll this over into a corporation so we can write off even more?
I just did a LLC about a year ago myself.
Okay.
So, but I didn't do a corporation because of the fact that there's too much extra paperwork, and I don't like paperwork. But if it works for your situation where you can write off more with a corporation, and it may, then I would, I'd work with your accountant and check on it.